Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this webcast. We wanted to make sure students who miss our site visit also get a chance to see this presentation on achieving your professional development goals. This overview is a great first step to really get you thinking about your goals and also to familiarize you with some other early childhood specific resources available in Wisconsin to help you achieve your goals beyond this educational opportunity grant. My name is Nar Dumbia. I'm one of the Youngstar Professional Development Counselors at Wisconsin Early Childhood Association. I am really happy to be part of this journey, and I want to tell you just a little bit about myself, and hoping that we will get a chance to meet either on site or when we do individual counseling. Prior to working at WICA, I worked as a program director, as a lead teacher, and mostly in group settings. I've worked in group setting for 11 years, so my passion is really to support educators with their ways to improve their skills, knowledge, and resources, and anything that I can do to really help them enhance their daily work and their professional development. That's why I'm very excited to be part of this Educational Opportunity Grant Intensive Counseling. I'm here today with my colleague, Monty.
Hi, my name is Monty Marsh-McGlone. I'm also a Youngstar Professional Development Counselor here at the Wisconsin Early Childhood Association. I have a lot of experience working with school-age programs and school-age staff, as well as group centers as a teacher and director.
Thank you, Monty. So here's our agenda for today. We wanted to talk to you about Youngstar and specifically the professional development services. We also wanted to kind of compare why this intensive counseling is different from the regular PD that you would get from WICA. We also wanted to talk to you about Teach Scholarship, because Teach is also another program that support educators achieve their goals, and we will specifically talk about ways you can blend your Teach Scholarship with your Educational Opportunity Grant, and also provide you for generic Teach information in case you decide that you want to do something else, either a credential or a degree other than what you're doing part of this Educational Opportunity Grant. Well, some of you also might be already enrolled in Credit for Prior Learning, so we will talk about Credit for Prior Learning, and some of you might be interested in learning how you can earn credit for prior learning in case you are thinking about going beyond this and earning your degree. So we'll talk about credit for prior learning, and we'll also talk about the registry system. And while you're listening to this webcast, write down your questions, and at the end of the presentation you will have our email and our contact information. You can also talk to your instructor at your technical college, or if you are at UW-Platteville, talk to your instructor too. They can get you our contact, and we hopefully will be able to answer any questions that you might have. So that takes us to our first slide, which is about a Youngstar, and I'm sure you guys are somewhat familiar with Youngstar at this point. And also Youngstar is the reason really why we have the Educational Opportunity Grant, and it is just targeted for programs that are 2- and 3-star, so that teachers can increase their educational goal, because it's a very important component of Youngstar, and we'll talk about that a little further down. So Youngstar is Wisconsin's quality rating and improvement system, and it's basically it basically looks at every center that's participating, looks at the educational level of the staff, both the director and the teachers. And if it's a family program, it looks at the family provider's education. If it's a group if it's an after-school program too, the administrators and group lead teachers, group leaders, education is taken into account. So education is one component of the rating process. Environment and curriculum is another one, business and professional practices, and child health and wellness. And what it means is that a program cannot be rated to that star level until they meet all the components of all those 4 or 5 components. So even if, for instance, a program that's for 3-star, let's say, for a program to meet the educational level, the lead teachers have to have 6 credit for at least 50% of the classroom, and the director has to have the administrator credential. And as far as the environment and curriculum program has to complete a self-assessment, and document quality improvement plan. And also for business and professional practices, the program have to sign a Youngstar contract, and also have to have an ongoing budget. Also for program, as far as child health and nutrition, the program must serve nutritious meal. So you can have a program that have teachers with lead teachers with bachelor's degree for all the classroom, and the program director with a bachelor's degree, but if they do not meet all the other component of the environment and curriculum, the business and professional practices, and the child health and wellness, that program is not going to be rated more than a 3-star. So it just goes to say that all the components have to be met in order for that program to be rated at that star level, even if they exceed the number of points that are required to meet the a higher level. And it is also to know that these ratings are important in the sense that they are tied to the Wisconsin share payments, and the higher the program's rating goes, the more they will get in a W-2 share payments. And also, it's also important to note that this is not a requirement. Youngstar is not a requirement, so a program can choose to participate or not. But if your program wants to receive W-2 share payment, then it's a requirement. All the programs that want to get to receive W-2 payment must participate. And please send us your questions about Youngstar if you have any. So for this slide, we will talk about the educational qualification. The educational qualification, unlike all the other components, this can be harder to achieve for some centers because of the time commitment that it takes. And you might know already that for teachers to move up the registry ladders, they have to have credit-based education. And credit-based education is offered at technical colleges and public universities. So those are a little sometimes much harder for teachers to get right away than all the other components for programs. So teacher qualification is really important in Youngstar because all the research that have been shown show that teachers and director provider education are strong predictors of high quality early care and education. And the more teachers are educated, the better they're able to really provide environments that support healthy child development. And that's why teacher education is a component of Youngstar. And also Youngstar uses the registry system. So you don't necessarily have to send any educational verification to Youngstar. Your program director will just have to to update your program profile, and it will show. And this is at the end of the day, it's a really a recognition program. You know, the more centers the more educated staff they have, the more points they earn. The more points they earn, and once the center gets a higher rating, they also get more payment and recognition, also in the sense that parents can go online and look at your program and see what you're providing, what level of care you're providing. So it's an overall really great system to recognize the education and also to recognize the program in general as providing quality care. So we want to talk to you also about professional development counseling, because professional development counseling is funded by Youngstar. Most of the time we hear Youngstar as a rating program, and there's a great deal of quality improvement tied in Youngstar, and professional development is part of that quality improvement because it is available for free to educators, and we connect with them, we call programs, and we talk to early childhood professional about what professional development means to them individually. It's not about anybody else but yourself. We talk about learning goals. We help them find trainings of interest. We also help them identify scholarships that might be available for them. We talk about financial aid. We talk about a lot of different topics of interest. One of a day in a professional development of a professional development counselor can be very interesting. I know personally I get to talk to people about childcare licensing, about starting a family program, and everything in between, because everybody's unique. Everybody's goal is really can be different from everybody else's. So these are some of the common challenges we hear when we talk to providers and people around the state. We hear that finance is really hard. In the early childhood field, we most of the time do not make enough money, and let alone, have all the things that we need and pay for our education. So finance is a big problem. And also we hear also time. People tell us, hey, we work 40 hours over 40 hours a week, especially for family providers, and we have children. We wear lots of different hats in our life, and time is really one of our biggest challenges. We also hear support. We talk to teachers who tell us, I'm a single parent. I do not really have the support needed. I cannot take that time to go study. I just don't have anybody to help me, do my homework. I don't have anybody to help watch my children while I'll do this. So these are really challenges that if you're experiencing them, you are not alone. We just want you to know that, yes, this is a lot happening, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And that's one of the reasons, personally, I'm very excited about the incentive counseling, because with the Educational Opportunity Grant, and your tuition is covered, and depending on your institution, you might also have additional benefits such as registry, credential fee, coaching, tutoring, travel stipend. So there are lots of different ways that the Educational Opportunity Grant helps you with all those challenges we talked about. And more importantly, you get one-on-one support from a counselor. And with the one-on-one support, what is really nice with it is that I touch a little on a little bit earlier, it is very individualized. It's about you. Yes, you're going through this cohort, or you're going through this institution, but we want you to know that we want to support you and take you hopefully to where you want to be by providing all the information that you need, all the support that you need. And we really want to help you at the end of the day, not only be successful, but achieve your educational goals and take you to whatever your next step is going to be. So with the professional development and especially with this individual counseling, we will be talking a lot about development. What does professional development mean to you? And when we want to really get you start thinking about this, and especially think about the different, what you know about child development and in what way does it mirror your own professional development. So these are some of the questions that we will be talking to you about when we do our individual counseling session and when we do our wrap-up sessions too. So we know from child development that development is individual. If you're in an early childhood classroom, you know that every child is different. Whether it's their interest, whether it is um, their stages of development, whether it's learning, they're really very, very unique. And we like to think of professional development also as that unique pathway for each individual educator. What if you're in a classroom with a co-lead teacher, what they're interested might not be what you're interested in. So it can be very different. And at the end of the day, we think too, when you're choosing professional development opportunities that are meaningful to you, chances are you'll be more successful. So that's why we really want you to keep thinking of your own professional development as unique to yourself. And we also know that it happens at its own unique pace, and we have forward momentum. Sometimes we have setback, and it's okay. Just like children, I mostly also worked in infantile rooms as a lead teacher, and we would have children toilet training that are doing great one day, the next day, hey, we don't know what happened, they're back to square one. And we also talk to adults who are the same. One year they're really engaged, they want to do more and more, and the next year they're not, and they want to take a break because as adult learners we have so many different things that happen in our life. We have so many things to take care of. We want you to know if you have a setback, it's okay, it's part of life. Let's just make sure that doesn't really keep you off track. You have to be able to bounce back and get on the wheel and do it again, because it's life happens. And lastly but not least, we know that just like child development, professional development thrives in atmosphere of support. When you have your colleagues that are supporting you, when you have your director, when you have counselors available, when you have tutors that are there to support you, you will probably be more successful. So we challenge you to really not just think about identifying who your support systems are, but really use them. Make sure you reach out to us. Make sure you reach out to your instructor. Make sure you're using your support. Because if you have them and you're not using them, it's like you don't have them. So please use your support network. And we have some of the tools that we'll share later, and one of them is a professional development web. So this is how we define professional development in in our profession. We think of it as a commitment to growth and lifelong learning in one's own unique profession. It's unique to each individual. So, and I think we cannot stress it enough. Make sure you're learning something that's meaningful to you. Make sure that you have you're choosing a learning format that's responsive to your need. Make sure the opportunities that you're taking can really fit in your life, because when you're taking all these into account, you will be more successful. And it takes us to the tools that I referred earlier. We have the professional development questionnaire that we have, and this questionnaire is on our website. It's if you are doing D2L with Platteville, it's available on our professional development course shell. If you are at a technical college doing on-site, you may have this form from your instructor. But if you're not, please don't worry. It is on our website, and we also have an online version that you can just go and fill it out and you're done with it. And what we like about the professional development questionnaire, it really helps us individualize the learning opportunities we will talk to you about, because we want to know your strength, we want to know your challenges, we want to know how many hours you can dedicate to learning. We want to know if you're traveling, how far you're willing to travel to get to a school. So all of those questions that we have in the form really help us individualize. And the key is individualizing, because like I said before, when it's individualized, you're more successful. We also have a tip sheet on ways you can develop a professional development plan. We have suggestions, and it's really nice step-by-step approach to developing your own professional development. We also have the professional development options have you consider, and this is a really comprehensive tool because we'll list some of the most of the ways that you could do professional development. And when you're looking at these PD options and then you are doing one that's really relevant to you and that you do not see represented there, just email us and we would be glad to update that form. But it shows really all the various ways that you can do professional development, because professional development, like we said, is unique. For some, it can be taking a credit-based course. For some, it could be doing a credential, but for others, it's really, mentoring newer staff, of visiting a different program and learning from those teachers and directors. So there are various ways you can do professional development, and we want you with this form to really keep thinking about it. And we have journaling, and if you love to journal, we have tips to help you who do that as your professional development. We also have a PD template, and that's one form that I use a lot. It's one of my favorite when this is a form that I would, as a director, I use a similar form to kind of check on myself, reflect on my program's need and on my own professional development need, and revisit them once in a while to see where I am. Did I accomplish what I needed to accomplish? What support services did I need to help me reach my goals? So it's a really great template, and feel free to share it with your colleague too. And I think I mentioned the PD Web before. This is another great tool to help you identify your support system. And what I like about this tool too is that we challenge you to think outside the box. Think about not just your inner circle, your colleague, your director, your partner, your husband, think about, you know, those professional organizations. Think about your local library. Think about your instructors. So it's a very comprehensive form that can help you. And like I said too, with this form, you just want to make sure you're actually using your support system. So these are some questions that we want you to think about. You know, when you have when you look at that, have you considered document, you know, review it and look at and review it and see if there's one meaningful professional development opportunity that you've tried in the last year that was in there. If it was not in there, that's okay. Or you could also think about, you know, what is something really different that you think you might like, that you might commit to trying in the next year. And then, you know, when we meet individually or when we do our individual session over the phone, we can talk about it some more. And this is basically how you can get started with the professional development counseling. Like I said before, it's a service that's free to everybody. If you have a colleague who might need a service, please refer. They can go online and fill out our professional development questionnaire, or just fill out the online version. And for you, it's a little different. Sometimes when we visit if you're part of an on-site cohort, we give those to your instructor. If you're part of the Platteville online cohorts, it's in our course shell. Please feel free to go in there. And we also have many other resources that we posted there for you. So feel free to just go online and visit that site. You can call us, you can email us, and we would be happy to get in touch and support you any way we can. So for the second part of this presentation, I wanted to turn it over to my colleague, Monty. Monty will talk to you about Teach Early Childhood Scholarship, and if you have questions too for Monty, please feel free to write them down and email us later.
Hi everyone. So I'm going to talk about TEACH, which stands for Teacher Education and Compensation Helps. It is one of the many programs we have here at WICA that helps promote the excellence in early childhood education in the field. Its goals are to increase education with scholarships, because we know that a provider's education directly relates to the success that their students will see in their future. TEACH wants to make sure that people who work in the field are fairly compensated for their work. We know that working in the field of early childhood education is one of the least compensated for the services that we provide for our community. So part of TEACH is to make sure that there's a bonus or a raise at the end of the scholarship. And then to provide for a stable workforce, TEACH supports retention, which is at the end of your scholarship, there is a commitment period to your program at the end and during your scholarship to ensure that children have that consistent teacher, that consistent care from providers that they're looking for, that they need for their successful development. Right. Talk about the eligibilities of TEACH. So if you are a family care provider, if you work in a child care center as a teacher, if you're a center administrator, if you're a school-age provider, school-age supervisor, if you work for Head or a school-age group leader, if you work for Head Start, you're eligible to participate in TEACH. Now, some of the requirements are that you're either licensed if you're a group center or participating in Youngstar. If you're a family care provider, that you're licensed or certified, that you work at least 25 hours a week or 75% of the time that the program is in operation. So this often comes into play when we're talking about school-aged providers. So as long as you work 75% that the program is in operation, you do qualify for TEACH. That you've been employed at your center or your school-age program or you're in family care for 3 months. That you live and or work in Wisconsin. So if you happen to live in Minnesota but you work in Wisconsin, you still qualify. And that you have a high school diploma or GED. So you're eligible for TEACH. Where can you go take some courses? The first step is Wisconsin Technical College System. You can take credit-based courses from any school in the Wisconsin Technical College System. And that works for if you're just looking for a few courses or if you're looking for an associate's degree program. The second place you can look is any Wisconsin university system. Any UW school can help. You can take credit-based courses or you can work in the bachelor's program. And finally, Wisconsin private colleges. So any private college that their home address is in the state of Wisconsin, they qualify for TEACH support.
And also we hear a lot of providers are, usually not sure whether they can do online education. And like Monty said, as long as they're Wisconsin-based, you could do online. We know there are lots of online associate degree program, online bachelor programs that are offered either in the technical college or in the UW system. So online programs are also eligible for TEACH.
Thank you, Nara. All right, so you're on the Educational Opportunities Grant. Some of you may be already on TEACH. If you're not, you are eligible to be supported by TEACH. So you can blend the free courses with a scholarship. So you get some of the same benefits. You get more support and better retention for center-based staff, family care providers, program directors, or school-age providers as well. So some of the benefits that you can get benefits from the college because the Educational Opportunities Grant. Each college provides different resources. So that's something that you're going to want to check with your instructor or your advisor at the school to make sure that you're taking advantage of everything that's being offered through the grant.
Absolutely.
So you receive TEACH benefits too if you're on the scholarship, which one of the best benefits of a TEACH scholarship is the TEACH counselor. And that's someone who will be with you throughout the credential process. They're a person you call if you have any questions. They have lots of great contacts at the school you're attending, so they can help you if you have any questions. If you're looking, you don't know how to get your transcripts or you need just some support, a TEACH counselor is there to help you. And then once you're done with this credential, TEACH is available to support future coursework. Maybe you finish this credential and you want to keep going. You want to take another credential, or maybe you've decided that a degree program is right for you, an associate's or a bachelor's, depending on where you're at in your journey. So that is something that you'll already have a counselor. You can call them, and it's easy to set up TEACH support. All right, so let's talk about the different models that are available. First off, there is the 3 to 8 credit model. Now, this is just for a few courses, 3 to 8 credits. It's limited option. This is the last 3 semesters or 1 year. This is one that if you really just want to test the waters, if you're not sure if credit-based education is right for you, or you're not sure you have the support that you need at the moment, or you just, you're not sure that your heart's in it, this is a great way to take a course or two and see if this is right for you, if this is where you want to go.
And Monty,
then we have the credentials. Yes.
In Monty, we also have some centers that do not necessarily want to sign up to support their staff to TEACH because they do not want to give a bonus. And with a limited option, the center has the option of not giving a bonus. But then, with regular 3 to 8, the center has to pay part of the tuition and give either a 1% raise or give a $150 bonus. But with the limited option, the center does not have to provide a bonus. The center will still have to pay 15% of the tuition and schedule release time, but not pay for the bonus. And we hear a lot of centers also, especially those that are nonprofit, that just cannot give a raise. And this is also a great way for them to test, teach, and see if this is for them.
True, thank you. It's also a great way if you need to meet your entry-level requirements. The 3 to 8 model is the right one for you as well.
Absolutely.
So if credential model, which is you're taking the credential courses now, it's a 2-year contract. Credentials are issued by the registry. They're comprised of 12 to 18 credits, depending on the credential. And then upon completion, a portfolio or final project is presented to the registry commission to award you your credential. So it can support school-age coursework. And depending on the kind of coursework you need, maybe you need a credential or maybe you need some of the entry-level requirements to work in your program. It's something that Teach can support. Then, as I briefly spoke about earlier, we can support an associate's degree program. So maybe you've decided that the credential was great and you enjoyed it, you got a lot out of it, and you want to articulate that into an associate's degree. That's something that Teach can help you with. And then we also have a model for our bachelor's degree too, which is if you have an associate's degree or you really want to jump in, you're ready to get your bachelor's degree, that's something Teach can help support. All right, so what's in it for you? Teach pays the majority of your tuition, books, and credential fees. So if you are on the credential model and you want to go commission at the registry, Teach will help support that. The scholarship pays for 15 hours of release time, 15 hours so that you can go and you can get your homework done. It's just hard to keep up with everything, and that's some time that you can use to make sure that you're up to date with your courses and you have everything you need to be successful. It provides for a $75 travel stipend, which even if you're taking online courses, you still get the travel stipend, so it's a very good deal. Plus there's a bonus at the end. Teach will provide, again, depending on the model that you're on, part of the bonus for your scholarship. Right, so what's required of you? One is that you're ready to complete your education, whether it's credential, whether it's a degree program, whether it's just a few courses in the 3 to 8 model, is that you're committed to finishing. You will be paying for a portion of your tuition, books, and the credential fees, and also that you're giving a commitment to your child care program, which is, depending on the model, is 6 months to a year in your program, providing care, consistent care to the students you work with every day. All right, so what's required of your program under Teach? So Teach is this, works 3 ways. Teach supports, you support, and your program needs to support. So your program does a portion of the tuition. They're also in charge of scheduling the release time. So you tell them, you work out with them when it works best for your release time, when you need some time, and you both work together to figure out when you can schedule that time. Plus, they'll provide a raise or bonus at the end, which Nar mentioned earlier. There is an exception in the 3 to 8 limited model where they don't supply the bonus or a raise when you're just trying to test the waters like that. But they would in the other models that we mentioned earlier.
And also it's good to note that the release time, yes, the center is giving you release time, but they will also be reimbursed for all those hours that they're giving you to complete your education. So it's a win-win really for the center and for the participants.
All right, so your center, what's in it? So why would a center want to support someone on Teach is the question. Professional staff and committed staff, right? So your center builds up that reputation of having teachers who stay, having teachers who are committed to their education as well as the education of their students involved. We mentioned your commitment period. You're employed during the scholarship and for a time after the scholarship as well, after you've completed. To ensure that you're providing this commitment, this consistency for the students, that they know, that the parents know during this time that you're going to be there. It's going to be the same person in the classroom helping support their child's development. So a couple of other requirements. We mentioned that you're committed to your education. If you're going to be on TEACH, you're committed to finishing. Well, we do need you to pass with a grade of C- or better. If something comes up, if something happens and you don't feel like you can achieve this, or life, as Nar mentioned earlier, life happens, right? Things in life happen. That's something you talk to your TEACH counselor with immediately to figure out there are options available and they can help you find them. If you have decided that the associate and bachelor's degree program is right for you, then you are required to apply for federal financial aid each year you're on scholarship. So every year, it's not a one-time thing. You have to do it every year, and you have to remember to do it. But your TEACH counselor will help you, remind you about when those times are. Now, when you do apply for financial aid, you're not required to take any scholarships that are any loans that are offered to you. You are required to take any grants that are offered. So no on the loans, but yes on the grants. And that, again, that's something that your TEACH scholarship, if you have any questions, call us here, and we can help you figure that out. So how do you start? This all sounds great, but how do you begin? So the first thing to do is identify your professional development goals. What do you want? Is it a specific registry level? Is it a degree? Is it a specific credential? Is your goal just to test the waters and see if maybe there's more education in your future? The second step, discuss these plans with your supervisor or your center or your director. Because like I mentioned, it's a three-way partnership. TEACH, your center, and you. And so they have to be on board for you to be able to be on TEACH. Make sure you're ready to fulfill all the commitments. Like I mentioned earlier, a C- or better, that you're ready to finish all the courses. If it's a credential process, that you're ready to go up in front of the Registry Commission and be awarded the credential. So then you contact WICA for an application, brochures, more information. If you're curious, if you want to talk to a professional development counselor one-on-one, give us a call, send us an email, and someone will get back to you. And then if you've decided that it is right for you and you want to be on TEACH, you send in the application with the income verification, and someone will get back to you within 6 to 8 weeks. That's how long processing takes. But during that time, that's when you can enroll in your courses or look for where you want to take courses, and then when a TEACH counselor calls you, you'll be ready to go. So maybe you're curious about how much a specific college is going to cost you or a university is going to cost you. If you go to this link on our website, into our cost calculator, you can see some approximate information about how much it's going to cost you. Now, colleges are constantly, updating their fees, their schedules, so it's not always exact, but it does give you a good look at what it's probably going to cost you to take these credentials, to take a degree, to complete that bachelor's degree. Now, you can pay your scholarship online. We do support all of the credentials, including after school, family, infant toddler, preschool, leadership, program development, inclusion, administrator as well. There also on our website, there's a bachelor and associate degree directory on our website, so you can figure out what schools have what program you're looking for, or maybe you're curious and you don't know exactly what you want your program to look like. It's a good place to go and have some questions answered. We do have our professional development workshop as a webinar that you can access from our website. Now you go to the WICA website, go under trainings. You will be asked to enter your email address, so then you'll have access to all of our wonderful trainings that we have. And one of them is the workshop as a webinar in case you have any questions. We have online professional development planning tools and a career guide that can help you focus where you want your professional development to go. Maybe you want to become that center administrator. You can go to our website and get some questions answered about what kind of qualifications you need to make that happen. All right, and now Nar is going to talk a little bit more about credit for prior learning.
So some of you might be already doing credit for prior learning. It was one of the pathways that was approved through the Educational Opportunity Grant. It was the infant toddler credential, the after-school credential, the preschool credential, and credit for prior learning. So if you're not in a credit for prior learning, you might be wondering, what is credit for prior learning? It really is an older concept. We've seen, especially in professional development counseling, we talk to providers who have been in the field for, 10, 20 years, and unfortunately they do not have credit-based education to get them high on the registry career ladder. So this is a way for those experienced providers to earn credits for all that experience that they have, all that knowledge of child development. So it is a course in itself, and it's very different at each technical college, but generally it is a course that you have to complete. And then once you're done with the course, you have the opportunity to earn additional credit, and we hear anywhere from 6 additional to 12 additional credit. So if you are enrolled in a credit for prior learning, you already know that. But if you are not and you're interested in, please talk to us, because what we will do, we will look at your experience, because most of the technical colleges require you to have an experience anywhere from 3 years and over. And then we'll look at your experience, and then we'll look at if you're willing to take this class, and we'll look at if you want to do it online, if you want to do it in your area, and then we will give you the specific details about credit for prior learning at the institution you're interested in. And ultimately, we'll also give you the college advisors information so that you can get in touch with them, because we might have the information that it's available, and then they do not have enough people enroll, and they end up canceling. So your first step is really to talk to us, so we can narrow down all the potential programs that you could take, and then we'll do a next step by contacting the advisors. But this is a great program for those who are thinking about going beyond this credential, so to do an associate degree, because the credits do transfer to your associate degree program. It is a great program if you know teachers who have been in the field and are at lower registry level. This can help them move move up the career ladder. You have to be aware that with most of these institutions, you would have to do a test to earn those credits, those additional credits, or you would have to do portfolios, or you will be evaluated on an individual basis. So it's very different. Talk to us if you're interested in this, and we'll be happy to provide you with the information you need to get it started. And also Teach, the credit for prior learning is covered through Teach. And if you have to, not all the institutions charge you for the additional credits, but if you have to pay for the additional credit, Teach will cover it too. And it's very important, if you're not sure if you would be doing Teach, to call us, because we want to make sure that if you are not doing Teach with your credit for prior learning, we want to make sure that the additional credits you will be taking will be free. So this takes us to the registry. I'm going to let Monty talk to you guys about the registry now.
All right, so the registry is Wisconsin's recognition system for people who work in the field. It is required to be a member by the Wisconsin Department of Children and Families. Now, it's the recognition system of your education qualification. The levels are based on your educational achievement. And now Youngstar and Reward use the registry level to verify your education. So for instance, after you complete a credential, you will automatically be level 9. Now if you have an associate's degree in the field of early childhood education, that's level 12. An associate's degree with a registry credential is level 13, and so on. If you have any questions about your registry account, again, that's something we can help you answer here at WICA. So just give us a call, contact us, and we can help you figure out maybe what your registry level is or what courses you need to get to that level that is your goal, your professional goal.
And like Monty said, it's very important that once you're done with your credential to update your registry, because it's tied to you might be eligible for reward stipend after you graduate. And for those of you doing the administrator or the preschool credential, if you're successful with your credentials, you're at level 10, and all the other credentials are level 9. So, and reward eligibility starts at level 9. So be sure to update those definitely.
All right, so here's our contact information. If you have any questions, you can give us a call at that number, send us an email, or visit our website. There's lots of great information. Like I mentioned, that's where the cost calculator can be found, and the trainings, and lots of other resources that may be of interest to you and your education. All right, so WICA, we offer a lot of services here. One is we're a NACE affiliate, so membership in WICA does provide you membership in NACE, which is great if you're looking for discounts on some of the wonderful information and the tools and the support that they can provide from their website. WICA is a member of the Youngstar Consortium, which means that we're just one of the many community partners that helps make Youngstar what it is. WICA provides professional development consultation, what we've been talking about through a lot of this presentation, but also know that we're here to listen and support you in your goals. Maybe you're not sure what those goals are. We're here to help you figure those out. We talked about Teach, and I'll go into Reward a little bit. Reward is really a sister program to Teach, and to help with that, to fairly compensate people who work in the field. So it's an annual stipend that you can get, and it's based on your registry level. So the higher your registry level, the more money you get in your stipend. Now, you need to be at least registry level 9, and if you're registry level 9 or 10, you can apply this year, and then you need to get 3 more credits of education before you can apply for the second year. Some of the other eligibility requirements are that you're employed by a certified or licensed family care program, a licensed child care center, Head Start program, or school-age program. That you work at least 20 hours per week or 75% of the time that the program is open, depending on the program itself. That you work, that at least 5% of that time is in a classroom directly with children or supervising supporting staff. That you live and or work in Wisconsin, same with the Teach program, and that you earn less than $16.50 per hour. So if you have any questions about Reward, or you've heard about it but you've never participated, but you know people who have had, again, give us a call. We love to set people up on Reward. It's money. You've earned it. You're level 9, 10, 11, or higher on the registry. It's out there. Now, it does take, like Teach, about 6 to 8 weeks to process the application. Qualified applicants will be mailed an agreement, and their stipend. But if you have any questions, maybe you turned in the application and you're not sure how long it takes. Sometimes there's a few months worth of a waiting list because it is a popular program. You can give us a call and we can figure out, about how long it's going to be till you can see that stipend. Now, the Child and Adult Care Food Program is for family care providers in the state of Wisconsin. It's to help provide money to support nutritious meals in the program. WICA, and if you have any questions about that, again, give us a call. WICA does provide for an annual state conference and statewide training. And then we advocate for early childhood education on behalf of all the providers in the state, whether they're members or not, to ensure that we're getting worthy wages, that the training out there is what providers need it to be. So we always love hearing feedback from you about what you would like to see as far as statewide programs go. And now I'll send it back to Nar. Thank you.
Thank you, Monty, and thank you for viewing this webcast. We hope you've been writing down your questions. Please email us your question as well as your comments. We would love to hear them. Thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you and connecting with you soon. Bye.